This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Purdy Insurance.
Joe Brand has a lot going on. Joe, first of all, welcome to the show, and thanks for putting up with the nonsense there.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and thank you for your patience. And I like to be non-distracted while hanging out with my 5-month-old daughter, so I keep my phone on the other side of the room. So that's why I apologize for being a little tardy with this.
Okay. Before we get to this, what is she doing? Is she crawling around right now? I mean, where is she at the 5-month stage?
Army crawling right about now. You know, it's hard to justify it as an actual crawl. She's getting a little creative with it. We keep saying she puts one arm forward, the second arm forward, and then the belly goes down. So she's got to work on her form, but she's got a pretty good start so far.
Is this your first one, Joe?
This is number one.
How about that? Congratulations from us to you. That is wonderful.
Thank you. We're loving it for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Last night was a great night for the old guard. Gino Malkin, goal and assist. Sidney Crosby have a couple of assists. Chris Letang had an assist. And here it is, the end of the season. The old guard is still out there and playing. What do they continue to mean to the continuity on the ice, and what does their leadership mean to the younger players that haven't been through this before?
Well, I'll even add to that. Brian Rust scored the first goal of the game on the Penguins' first shot, and then Erik Karlsson had the empty netter, so he had the last goal. So it goes beyond the big three, too, maybe even to the big five, if you will. But a lot, right? I mean, they just set the standard so high for this team, and that obviously starts with Sid. But it hasn't just been the old guard this year. It's been everybody producing. They haven't had to rely on the old guard for most of their games, and I think that's what allowed this team to get into the playoffs for the first time in 4 years, because that core group can take over when they need to, but they haven't had to more often than not. And this team really shows its capability and its ceiling when all four lines and all three pairs are producing. And I think you're really getting a glimpse of that right now towards the end of the year as guys are really finding chemistry with each other, really starting to click. Maybe things will slow down a little bit now that the playoffs are clinched, home ice is clinched, and there's only 3 games left. Little opportunity to see some guys get some rest, but man, the type of hockey that they're playing right now is pretty impressive.
The football-basketball schedule that I have on my broadcast plate, I've got to really time out when I can get to a Penguins game. And the last one I went to was 6 weeks ago. Stuart Skinner was in net. And for the most part that day until the end, and the Penguins won the game, but played really, really well. How would you judge in the ups and downs of a season his level of play to this point?
I would say balanced. I think that might be a good word because he's had his ups and downs. The downs, the lows haven't been too bad. And even when he has had a game where maybe 5 or 6 goals, it's not like it's a complete blowout by the other team. There's definitely this calm, cool composure with Stuart Skinner that he brings on a daily basis that the Penguins benefit from in so many ways. But it's also his leadership, too. I mean, this is a guy that came over and, there was some talk about him being moved after he came over to the Penguins. Yeah. Right? I mean, the Penguins have a goaltending situation right now that's kind of what do they call it? An embarrassment of riches, right? I mean, Sergei Murashov is just waiting for the opportunity to come up to the NHL level on a consistent basis. And, maybe the Penguins don't think he's quite ready for that just yet, but he has already had the NHL experience under his belt. He's shown he can perform here. But Stuart Skinner came in, very quickly befriended Archer Shelovs, and that duo has really seemed to gel so well together because it's two guys that maybe don't need to be the number one goalie right now. All year long, it's been a rotation of who's in net. and that's been with any of the 4 different goaltenders that the Penguins have seen this year, including Tristan Jarry, including Sergei Murashev. And it's worked out so well. So not a lot of pressure is on Stuart Skinner or Artur Shilovs when they know that have a good game, all right, you're off the next game. Have a bad game, all right, you're off the next game. You know that schedule, you know that routine. I know Dan Muse has played some guys back-to-back lately. It's kind of been more of a happenstance than a decided decision. But it's really worked out for the Penguins. And truthfully, I think that benefits them in the playoffs because, I mean, nowadays in the hockey world, the best teams are looking for a second goalie, just in case. It's almost like in baseball when you want two closers, right? To just really shut things down. So I truly feel like the Penguins' goaltending situation is better than a lot of other teams because maybe they don't have the star power in one goalie, but their 2 goalies might be better than any other team's 2 goalies. Colorado's got a pretty threatening duo with Blackwood and Wedgwood. Yep. But, I mean, other than that, it's really hard to look at another team and say, I feel more confident with this goalie situation more than what the Penguins have.
There are certain goaltenders, just by out of skill set, have the ability to handle the puck really well. And it can be like having 2.5 defensemen back there. And there are others that see other guys handle the puck, and they're not good at it, but they still try to do it anyway. Where are the Penguins in that regard as to which one of these goaltenders handles the puck really well, where they become like that extra half defenseman because they actually know how to handle the puck?
Yeah, I don't think either guy really has that trait. Who did more was Tristan Jarry. But
yeah, no doubt.
That was kind of a reflection of how he was doing at that certain time. If he was on a roll, he would play the puck a lot. I mean, heck, he scored the first Penguins goalie goal in franchise history.
Yeah.
And actually there was a time last year when he was struggling, and I heard from one of the coaches that, there was an opportunity for him to go for the empty net goalie goal for his second one in his career, and he didn't go for it. And he said, at that moment, I knew he wasn't himself at the moment because normally he would go for that shot, and he didn't. And, there was only a few times this year. I shouldn't say that. I should say there was more than a few times this year that he was back to that level. But then, once he put the numbers up that he did this season, it was a perfect opportunity for the Penguins to trade him. So I don't really see Stuart Skinner or Artur Shilovs being that guy. I don't think they necessarily need it. I agree with you. It's a great trait to have. It's a great added bonus. But I don't think that's part of the Penguins' game right now. And also, you look at it, I mean, a lot of their defensive players are highly offensively skilled.
Yes,
Erik Karlsson especially, and Chris Letang. So you almost want to see more defense from the Penguins than anything. Yeah. But I get what you're saying, but I don't think it quite fits this team and this goalie tandem right now.
Well, yeah, that's why I asked the question. Though, it may be a no. Nobody does. That wasn't.
I mean, feet to the fire. I guess I would say Artur Shilovs, only because I see him being more of a freewheeler. But I've also seen him have some trouble playing the puck and has allowed goals to be scored because of that. I think it was a game. Which one was it? Colorado, maybe, where he tried to play the puck in behind and it turned into a turnover. I mean, that's part of the gamble, though, right? Sometimes you have those goalies that get a little too confident, and then all of a sudden, it backfires, and then that's quite a momentum swing when it doesn't work out in your favor.
It doesn't bother me when they're a little conservative about it. All right, so the next part is to navigate this season. You have to play a lot of players. What has the depth at Wilkes-Barre Scranton meant to at least at times plug the dike for the Penguins when there's been leaks?
I think Avery Hayes is the best example of that, right? I mean, he got his NHL call-up the game before the Olympic break. And I don't know, guys. I don't think he was a player that was too high on the Penguins' radar to fill a hole so quickly. And they give him a call around, 11 in the morning on, I think the date was February 5th before the Olympic break. Hey, kid, get up to Buffalo. You're making your NHL debut tonight. I mean, he didn't skate with the team at morning skate. He, I think, woke up, packed all this stuff, and got to Buffalo as quickly as possible. joined the team shortly before warm-ups, warmed up with the team, and then scored on his first NHL shot in the opening period. I think it was his second shift. And then he scored 2 goals in the first period overall. And not only that, he has continued to be such a role player on this team. Not the biggest role player, not a guy, oh, man, we're missing Avery Hayes right now. But there's some instances where they do because he's just kind of a pest out there. He knows his role. He's not trying to do too much, but, man, is he making a presence for himself. And he just kind of gets under the skin of the other team, and that's exactly what the Penguins need from a guy like that because, you need more guys like that in the playoffs, especially. And I think he has totally taken on that role. They've called up a few other guys in Ville Koivunen, even Rutger McGroarty, and I think they're still kind of missing that consistency from them. I know that the Penguins are high on those guys, so there's a little bit of a longer leash. There's a little bit of a higher ceiling. And you've seen some flashes of Rutger and Ville trying to be that guy, trying to be that agitator, providing that presence immediately. But I think Avery Hayes is the one that's really made a name for himself to be that guy. I think it's a big reason why he's gone up and down so much because he's just creating himself to be that valuable. But also the winning that's going on down in Wilkes-Barre Scranton too is huge, right? It's huge for the guys that are down there that are coming up and the guys that are at the NHL level that are going down. I mean, Ryan Graves has been down at Wilkes-Barre Scranton quite a bit. Matt Dumba, was here at the beginning of the year and had been sent down, and they're totally taking advantage of their time down there. And I think it's easier for them to do that because of where the baby Penguins are fighting for the playoffs. I know they've had a hard time getting through the first round of the postseason the last couple of years, so hopefully they're able to break that dam. But that winning culture is so huge, and Kyle Dubas holds such a high value to it because it's so important to teach winning along with just teaching hockey, and developing those kinds of traits and characteristics are so pivotal for the long-term goal.
Geno Malkin will turn 40, I think, July 31st. What do you obviously he'll get banged up from time to time, but what have you thought about his level of play?
He has been able to be, as you say, Geno Malkin, a lot of times this year when they've needed him to be that the most. And I think you really saw it when Sid was down. Those two guys have such this competitive fire in a good way, in a positive way. They feed off each other. But when one goes down, the other one sees it as an opportunity to get up. And I think Malkin is having a lot of those games where, Borky always says he's humming right now. He's galloping. He's galloping Geno. He's got the beaver tail going. He's slapping the stick to the ice. He wants the puck more often than not. And I think last night's goal that he scored is a huge example of it because, Sid is doing everything that he can to get so crafty to find the puck past Jake Allen. And Malkin just comes crashing off the bench, or rather off the bench crashing towards the net and just pounds it home like, let's get this over with. So that's the kind of Geno that you need for the playoffs, right? I'm about to witness my first-hand experience of Penguins playoff hockey, and I'm so eager to see it. But I know a big reason of that is because of the type of play that Malkin brings when he's on that level. So hopefully he's really starting to churn and really starting to warm up right now when the Penguins need him the most.
Yeah, no. I liken Malkin to a power forward in basketball. I mean, I just, with great passing skills, but like he plays a power game that I think is every NHL winning team needs. They need to have a power guy to go with finesse guys, and he's it. And you said you're about to experience your first playoff with the Pens, which is exciting. How do you look at this time between now and the playoffs begin as to how Dan Muse wants to handle it, especially lineup-wise?
That'll be interesting. I'm not entirely sure because I think a few guys could definitely use the rest. But, I mean, with only 3 games left, I think he wants to keep everyone's competitive juices flowing as well. But we've got a back-to-back coming up, so I think that'll play a role. Maybe you see a guy take a day off either, tomorrow or Sunday.
That's Washington, right? That's the Capitals?
Yep, both games, home and home. And then the season wraps up
Blues
on Tuesday in St. Louis, yep.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I truly feel like the Penguins are in a great spot right now. They had to take care of business. They did take care of business, especially towards the end of March and now even in the beginning of April. I mean, back-to-backs against Florida. I know the Panthers aren't the team they've been in years past, but that's still not easy to do. And, man, did the Penguins take care of work in those two games. And then the same thing goes for last night as well. Again, I know New Jersey isn't much of a threat. They're out of the postseason. Luke Hughes is done for the year. But they went in there and took care of business. And doing so, clinched them a playoff spot, clinched them home ice advantage. And now they got 3 games where, listen, it's the Caps and the Pens, right? There's going to be a lot of energy in the building regardless. Because anytime Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby match up, that's a headline matchup right there in it itself. So it's kind of so fitting for the Penguins to finish up this year with just 3 games left. It's not too much of a breather, but it is an opportunity to really allow guys to get some rest. Like Connor Dewar was out yesterday. He's dealing with a lower body injury. That's something that's fairly new day to day. Brian Rust took a day off the other day. These guys have an opportunity to chill out. And the other thing is, the Penguins end earlier than the rest of the league. The league doesn't stop until Friday, April 17th. The Penguins' last game is Tuesday. That's the 14th.
Right.
So I think it's either going to be a Saturday or Sunday game 1 of the playoffs for the Pens. I'm thinking it's going to be Saturday. So that right there is 3 days off after the end of the season. I mean, the schedule is really favorable for the Penguins right now. It's definitely an opportunity for them to take advantage of it.
Well, there's a few extra days for you to check out the Army crawl. Okay.
I love it. Hopefully we can get to a normal crawl at that point. But I don't know. I'm not trying to speed up time too quick. Everyone keeps telling me to take it, don't take it for granted, and that's what I'm trying to do. Just hold on to it right now.
At some point, believe me, you'll see the progress. All right.
I know. And then pretty soon she's going to be telling me, Dad, shut up. So I can wait a little bit longer for that.
This is the father of 5 and the grandfather of 9. So this.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Oh, so I might be speaking from experience. All right.
I'll take all the tips you can give me.
Oh, no. I'm not the one to ask. Thanks. Hey, thanks so much. Really appreciate it as always, Joe. You do such a great job.
Hey, well, I appreciate you having me all year long. And, let's have fun with this playoff run. Let's see how far these guys can go. It's been an exciting year and hopefully an exciting playoff run as well.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Jerry Dulac in the next half hour. Kevin's playing Minecraft here on News Radio 1070 WKOK.